Good evening, and welcome to our January 6th, 2001, first meeting of the 2021 year board meeting. We welcome those in attendance in the boardroom as well as those who are virtual. Before we get started, we'd like to not excuse, you'll notice that the numbers are few within the boardroom, and that's doing the social distancing. And so we have three of our board members who are virtual at home. They are online. They are Vice President Dean Oborn, Janice Christensen, as well as Bruce Jardine. So we welcome them with us as well. So with that, we will proceed with our agenda and have the Pledge of Allegiance done by our Business Administrator, Dr. Robert Peterson, please.
Everyone stand and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Robert, if you'd like to stay there. The next item on our agenda is the oath of office of three board members. We were successful this last November. Myself, Doug Hurst, and Paul Widdison will receive the oath of office from Dr. Robert Peterson, please.
Yep, please stand right there.
Turn your mic on.
Okay, raise your right arm to the square. No gimpy squares. Okay, good. I state your name.
I, John Ritchie,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of Utah,
and the Constitution of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson. The next item on our agenda would be the elections of board president and board vice president. So with that, I'd entertain a motion to open elections for board vice president.
President, I'd make a motion that we retain John Ritchie as president and retain Dean Oborn as vice president for the Board of Education.
And we do that by acclamation.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Jan. Any discussion?
None.
Board members? Bruce, Janice, and Dino?
Sounds perfect.
Well, seeing none and having no remarks, I guess we'll
You say all in
call for a
favor?
vote. All in favor of me retaining as president and Dino as vice president, show by the uplifted hand or by aye.
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 Oh, perfect. Well, the motion carries. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be able to serve in this capacity again with such quality people on the board and a district as high caliber of ours that work so well together during times that are so tumultuous. Look outside right now. So thank you very much. It's an honor. Thank you, Paul, and other board members, and look forward to a great year. Board, with that, the next item on our agenda would be the consent calendar, and I'd entertain a motion to accept the consent calendar. So moved by Doug,
Second.
second by Jan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, board. All right, recognitions. So we're going to have the E+ Team Award, the Bonneville High Counselors and Mental Health Specialists. Please, Carla Porter and Brock Mitchell.
Let's give it a minute there. Can you see it all? Everybody good? Yeah? Good. Well, Superintendent Board, it is an absolute pleasure for me to introduce the recipients of our E+ Team Award, our counseling team at Bonneville High. Now, you'll notice on here that the E+ has a few extra pluses. That's because I thought each of them deserved one because they're so incredible. So that's why it looks that way. Let me introduce 5 incredible individuals to you. Our counselors, Tom Markeski, Natasha Davis, Robbie Hancock, and Lacey Peterson, and our mental health specialist, Amber Hellstrand. I can't even begin to tell you how amazing this team is. I really wish they could be with us in person, because they're the type of individuals, when you're around them, they just make you feel good when you're in their presence. But tonight you're going to have the opportunity to hear about the incredible things that they have done for our students. When you think of counselors, now I want you to go back in your history of school, and you think of counselors, not only do you think of individuals, especially on the high school level here, who help students with their schedules, with schedule changes, career choices, college applications, scholarships, but you also think of individuals that have these characteristics. I want you to just glance over those words. Those certainly describe this team. However, you know, when we look at the last few months that we've had, some might say that COVID has put obstacles and roadblocks in our paths. But I'm here to tell you that this team, they have taken this on, and they truly have superpowers. Each one of them individually and collectively, what they have done in the last little while is nothing less than miraculous. Now, our administrators at Bonneville, Brock Mitchell, Nicole Warren Doman, Nick Reyes, and Patrick Andrus, sent us a letter to nominate this team. And in this letter, what I did is I just took the letter and I took words out of that letter. Now, I want you to look at all of these words. Not only are they the list of what you saw already, but look at some of these things they've done. Not only just incredible individuals to work with, but the different strategies they've used with students. Look at some of these relaxation strategies, something we all need. Stress reducing strategies, coping strategies, stress management, an awe walk, box breathing, dealing with toxic stress. When you look at this list, it's pretty incredible. But what you're going to have now is our administrators, the four of them are going to take a minute and talk about, yes, I see Natasha laughing. This shows you they can have a lot of fun too. And they'll go into a little more detail about what it says there about their Feel Good Friday. But I'm going to turn some time over to Brock Mitchell and then the rest of the team. And they're actually going to go into the details of what this amazing team does every day. So Brock, why don't you take it away?
All right, thank you, Carla. Superintendent, board, appreciate the opportunity to recognize our great counselors. The picture you see on the screen, there was a Twins Day that we had at Bonneville, and they all decided to dress up like Tom. And so you can see everyone there had their shirt and tie, their glasses on. So we had a little bit of fun with Tom, and he was a great sport about it. The nice thing about our counseling department is we've had a little bit of turnover in the last 4 or so years. Of the 5 that are being recognized, 4 of them are new in the last couple of years. And it's amazing how quickly they gelled together to really take our counseling department to a whole new level. I'm so proud of the supports that they offer to our students. This year has obviously been one for the ages, but they've jumped in early in summer to make sure the schedules looked right. They've bound together to make sure they've got all the online students where they needed to be. They support parents. When parents have concerns, they're quick to offer up their assistance. And one thing that they've really strived to do over the last 2 years is to reach out to teachers and make sure they understand their role as counselors and be a support to our teachers. So it's been fantastic to see them really work together. They are constantly looking for feedback, looking for new ideas, ways to just improve what goes on in the counseling department and the school as a whole. So it's been really exciting to watch the overall growth of our counseling department. I have as much interaction as anybody with them, but maybe not as in-depth as my assistant. So I want to give the rest of my team an opportunity to point out some of the specifics they have. So I'm going to turn it over to Nick to add to what our counseling department does.
Thank you, Brock. Superintendent, board members, thank you so much for the opportunity that you've given us to recognize our great counseling department. Some of the things that I want to talk about is the accomplishments and things that I'm proud of that they've done, and my team's going to carry on the rest of the stuff. As Carla had mentioned, the resiliency that they've brought forth and the mental toughness that they have. When I was thinking about the things that they've accomplished this year, all the way through their day-to-day PCCRs, their schedule changes, their professional development, their coordination with teachers, and trying to care for kids, they have just taken it this year in stride. The different changes that we've made through this COVID period, they don't complain. They go right to work, and they work so well, as Brock mentioned, as a team. And so the second thing is their coordination with students, parents, teachers, and staff members, our advocates that they're coordinating with, that they're doing on a monthly basis. They're doing an activity with teachers to coordinate with them. They're in their classrooms. They've done just a tremendous job gelling with the staff and the teachers at the school. And then lastly, with us as the administration, we have a meeting once a week. They've coordinated it where we talk about students and meeting the students' individual needs. We have action plans to it. This is all the things that they've done amongst all the other things. And they just behave like we're not going through a COVID period. And so lastly, I'd like to talk about them going the extra mile in caring for kids. Now, I believe that Carla put before you guys a door hanger that was used by our counseling department. We were having a meeting, and this is right after our second closure happened at the school. We were meeting about and brainstorming how we need to connect with our kids during this closure. We were a little stressed on the time frame or the time period. It was Christmas break was coming up next, and Brock brought to our attention as a team that Lacey Peterson had an idea that she had an idea to take some pamphlets around or some door hangers around to all of our students. Now, we were thinking all of our students. We had the idea of taking them to the students that needed it the most, that had emotional situations going on. Well, yeah, so she brought forth this idea of putting on a door hanger with a candy cane and a sticker on the back. This was I believe, a Wednesday that we were meeting. And she brought this idea to us, and she made what seemed to be impossible happen. Together, she brought that together to her team. The team went right to work. As you could see, it says your Laker family loves you, giving a great message to our students. They donated their time. They used their own personal vehicles, their own gas money, and in the process, they delivered 1,280 door hangers, and they did it within 4 days or less. That's an incredible accomplishment. So Tom, Natasha, Robbie, Lacey, and Amber, thank you so much for what you do. You make Bonneville proud. And I'm going to turn the time over to Nicole.
Thanks, Nick. I'm super proud of our team. And just as a side note, I wanted to say the other day I was walking down the hall and a student stopped to talk to me for a minute, and he had a little case with him. It was a case with some art supplies in it. And he had the sticker that had been given on the door hanger on his little case. And he showed it to me and he pointed it out. And I said, did you get that from the door hanger? And he said, yeah. He said, that was awesome. And so it really did have an impact. Just like it was just a very small thing, but it had an impact on our students. It had an impact on our community as well. You could feel it. And so I'm so grateful for their efforts. I'm going to share a little bit about Amber Hellstrand, our mental health specialist. I've had the opportunity to work with her for about 4 years. The benefit that she has to our students, especially those students that are most in need of her services, is immeasurable. I spoke with one of the students that she's been working with on and off for about a year, just to see, get some feedback, hear her words about how she would describe the impact that Ms. Hellstrand's had with her. These are the things that she said, and it's pretty powerful. She said that because of the work that she's done with Ms. Hellstrand, that she is more confident. She said that she's getting better and better, and that she doesn't blame herself anymore for the situation that happened to her. She's learning to trust adults again, that Ms. Hellstrand meets her where she's at. And this is a quote from her. She said, "She is real with me and I need that." This student, I can't say enough how important Ms. Hellstrand's relationship with this student has been. And I'm just so grateful that we have an opportunity to have those services in our school, especially full-time here at Bonneville High School. It has been so needed and so critical. And Amber is really the best of the best, and we're really lucky to have her. And in addition to the positive impact that she's had on our student body, though, she wanted to meet with me this summer. And the thing that she wanted to sit down and discuss is her very deep concern about our faculty. Teachers by their very nature, and people who work in education by their very nature, will kill themselves to take care of the students. And when we're in a year like we're in right now, the teachers are also running on a deficit, and she was worried that having them running on a deficit and then going above and beyond to take care of our students, that they were not going to be taking care of themselves. She and I talked quite a bit, and she came up with a lot of ideas, and just wanted to run those ideas past me for how we can reach out to our teachers and our faculty. I thought that really was incredible of her, to take on that responsibility of helping to educate and take care of our faculty and staff. So every Monday she sends out an email. It goes out first thing in the morning. It's titled Monday Matters. Some of the stuff that Carla Porter had mentioned in the letter are things that have been included in that Monday Matters email, like mindfulness, awareness of your body environment, those kinds of things. The one about the box breathing, it's said to reduce stress and to kind of reset your brain. And I hope I'm not calling anybody out by saying this, but I think all of us administrators had that printed and like taped to our computer at one point, because we all needed it. It was good for all of us to have that reminder. She's worked really hard, though, to build a relationship with our counselors. I so appreciate that, because their coordination is essential, and them being able to work well together for our students is essential. And she's worked really hard to make that happen. We are really lucky to have this group in our school, and to have this group benefiting everybody in our community, everybody in our school. I'm super proud of them. I'm super happy that they are being awarded tonight and being recognized for their efforts and their hard work. Thank you so much to Dr. Stevens and to the board for giving them this opportunity to be bragged about in a public way, because they deserve it. So thank you so much. And I'm going to turn the time over to Patrick Andrus.
Superintendent and board members, thank you for your time tonight. I'm relatively new to this process. I'm the administrative intern at Bonneville. And I really appreciate working with this team. And I think my administrative team has illustrated very well how these counselors have benefited the school. But from a personal level, being new to being an administrator, they've really shown me, kind of set the bar for me for this portion of my career. And I really couldn't ask for a better example of what it looks like to really care for kids. I've seen them care for them academically and socially and emotionally. I think that the counselors are sitting at my desk way more often than I'm at theirs. They come to me with questions about kids and where we should go. And there's just a constant communication and a seamless integration between our administrative team and the counseling team. And I'm just really grateful to be a part of it and to see them in action, to deliver some of the door hangers and to get out there and see, what our kids, where they live and what it looks like. And I think these programs that they do and the efforts that they've made have really set an example for me on what it looks like. And I'm just grateful for that. great people to work with. They've accepted me right off the bat as a new member of the administrative team, and it's just felt great to be a part of it. So I'm so grateful that you've recognized them and see that their efforts and are valuable and important. And I'm just grateful that you've been able to do that. And I'll go ahead and turn the time back over to Carla. Thanks for your time.
A big thank you to the Bonneville administrative team for taking the time to nominate this team. They are so deserving, and aren't they incredible? So grateful for them. I don't know that there's ever been a time in history where we have realized the importance of counselors, and they have raised the bar. I agree with what Patrick said. They've raised the bar, shown us what can be done. So, Superintendent Board, I present Bonneville's counseling team. Tom Markeski, Natasha Davis, Robbie Hancock, Lacey Peterson, and Amber Hellstrand for the E+ Team Award.
Job well done, Carla and Brock. Congratulations, team. It's awesome. We wish you were here, that we could shake your hands and get a picture. And I don't know where your E+ award is, but we'll get it to you. She's frantically looking for it. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. All right. Congratulations, Natasha, Thomas, Robert, Lacey, and Amber on that great award of taking care of kids and going above and beyond. Our next presentation will be Positive Impacts of CTE and Student Learning. Dr. Rod Belknap, please.
You're muted, Rod.
Can everyone see the presentation okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thank you to Superintendent Stevens and also to the board for the opportunity to talk this evening about CTE and some of the great things that are going on in CTE and opportunities for students. You know, one of the things about CTE that's so impactful is that it gives students an opportunity to demonstrate not only their skills and build skills, but also prepare for careers. There are about 12 pathways in CTE. Those pathways range everything from architecture to agriculture, business, health sciences, manufacturing, STEM related areas, welding, construction, as I said before, so many education, so many opportunities for students to explore and also to prepare for their careers. About 15,000 students, secondary students, have been involved in our CTE classes in the past year, earning 23,000 concurrent enrollment credits, preparing for post-secondary education, 8,000 different skill certifications, prepare for their future, and also 300 internship opportunities. Along with some of these courses and opportunities in CTE, there is always, connected to every single program and course, a CTSO. A CTSO is a career and technical student organization. Many of you, some of the board members and all of us have been a member of different organizations throughout our educational experience. Those CTSOs are DECA, TSA, FCCLA, FFA, FBLA, HOSA, Educators Rising. These are all opportunities to sort of extend their learning opportunities from not only taking the class, but also being involved outside of the class. Over the last few years, this has grown exponentially. And the timing of this amidst COVID and some of these things is awesome, because here are these opportunities for students to socialize with others, to make connections not only with adults, but also with their peers. And we've proven that students that are involved in CTSOs, they graduate more frequently, they attend more frequently, they're engaged in their education. These are the opportunities that bring them to school and keep them there. We've actually increased our CTSO involvement 51% over the last couple of years. We now have more students involved in our CTSOs than any other district in the state. And so this is a great opportunity for our students to connect with adults, to demonstrate application in their education, but have these great experiences that are so memorable. And so many of them get a chance to compete, albeit this year, a lot of them will compete virtually. They'll still get an opportunity to compete. And this gives them a chance to see, to meet people in industry, to see the opportunities with the OWTC, and also university and post-secondary education. So there are just so many experiences. And our opportunity tonight is to hear from 5 of our students, and also our coordinators who are going to introduce you to these students. And these are amazing students who have had experiences in CTSOs and in our CT programs that will demonstrate just how spectacular these experiences are. Connected to each of these is a remarkable teacher and teachers inside these pathways that are a part of our Weber School District family. And so I'll just turn the time tonight. Each of our coordinators are going to introduce a student in one of these areas. We'll start with Chad Marriott, who's going to talk about construction. After Chad will be Charlie Nielsen, who will introduce a student from our HOSA. She's actually going to be at home tonight, so she'll be with us. Becky Sagers in our education pathways, preparing teachers. Trevor Ward will talk about business marketing, introduce a student there. And then John Donnelly in our STEM and engineering areas. So I'll turn the time to Chad. Go ahead, Chad.
Hey, thank you, everyone. Appreciate you being here. I'm excited to be able to talk about our construction pathway and introduce to you Cole Obrey. And Cole is a junior. He's currently enrolled in our construction 2 and 3 program. Kind of the main thing they're focused on right now is building the tiny home out here kind of behind Two Rivers and the Innovation Center. As you can see in a couple of the pictures, hopefully some rough framing, some electrical, maybe Bruce would appreciate a little electrical going on, and then some exterior stuff, all the process of going through a home in a tiny fashion. This program with Construction 2 and 3 is collaboration with Two Rivers, Weber Innovation Center, and also our magnet coming from our Construction 1 programs of all the 4 high schools throughout the district. So it's a great opportunity. And Mr. Ryan Ortega is the teacher that's heading this up, and it's been dynamic. And I wanted to read a little bit what Mr. Ortega had to say about Cole. He says, Cole does an amazing work. He is very precise about the way things are built, and he always makes sure the finished product that he produces is top quality. Cole is always on time and comes with the ready-to-work attitude, which is very important. Even when Cole is using tools for the first time, he figures it out quickly and has an amazing gift of making his finished piece of construction look good. Cole is a top-notch student and will be successful in whatever career he chooses to take. And that's from Mr. Ortega. I've asked Cole to say a couple things. He can roll up here and
all right, my name is Cole, and while I've been in the construction class, I've learned how to do framing, electrical, siding, and used how to use various tools and other skills that I'm able to use in pathways, career pathways in the future.
Great. Thank you very much, Cole. Appreciate everybody. Good job. And we'll turn it over to Charlie.
I guess.
There we go. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the board for allowing us to do this today. It's a great opportunity. So I'm going to introduce to you Lydia Lee from Bonneville High School HOSA. This is Health Occupations. We're going to depend on these young students at one day when we're all needing a little bit of help as we reach our end of life. And we're so glad that there are these young kids that are able to do that. So Lydia's been a wonderful asset to our school and our HOSA program. Has done so many great and wonderful things in the last 3 years. She's been a member of HOSA. She's just a gem. When you see students like this, you just want to embrace all the goodness that they have. And she's one of those that is truly a great one. So some of the things that she's done, of course, she's enrolled in all things medical at Bonneville. She's competed in national food drive. So I'm going to turn the time over to Lydia and let her talk to you. She's at home and she'll chat with you about her future plans and what she has learned in HOSA from our great teachers. Go ahead, Lydia.
Thanks. So I'm Lydia. I've been in HOSA for 3 years, and this year I'm their HOSA president. And because of HOSA, I've been able to take like good concurrent enrollment classes like advanced health science. And I was also able to get into the new AHEC program at Weber State, which is an interning class where we got to learn how to do lots of skills and hear from lots of different doctors. And like the skills we got to learn were like suturing, intubating, and stuff like that. And we got to hear from many different professionals, and it's helped me decide that I want to go into healthcare and I want to go into the respiratory area of healthcare. So thanks.
Thank you very much, Lydia. Yeah, you're a great one. Thank you very much. We'll turn the time over to Becky Sagers.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. I get the opportunity to introduce Educators Rising, which is the newest CTSO in the state of Utah. Educators Rising is focused on helping students that are interested in becoming teachers to learn more about the profession before they actually are in the profession. And so we offer opportunities for chapters to meet together, network, compete together, do service projects together, and also give the opportunity to do some networking with local colleges because they have the same program. So we are thrilled to be a part of this CTSO community. And tonight I have Cameron Stewart here with me. He's one of the state officers for Educators Rising this year.
Hi, like she said. A couple of things that my CTSO has helped me with is be able to put me into the classroom where I can learn from teachers and for myself what it was like being in the profession. It's helped me network with people, help decide what colleges are best for me, and taught me so many leadership skills that I wouldn't have known before this class and the TSO.
Okay. Thank you. We'll go ahead and turn the time over to Trevor.
So I get the privilege of working with all of our FBLA and DECA chapters and the teachers that teach business and marketing. And I'd like to introduce you to Jackson Edwards, who's a recent graduate of Weber High School. As I approached our FBLA and DECA advisors, Alan Rollins and Kyle Stinger, they both couldn't say enough about Jackson and his experience and thought this had to be the guy to talk to you tonight. And so I'll kind of let him introduce a little bit of his story, but Jackson's one of those prime examples that you can see how a CTSO impacts their life beyond just the classroom. This was able to provide so much more. And so he's a recent graduate, class of 2020, had the great graduation on Weber High's football field. And I'll let him kind of share a little bit about his experience with the CTSO and the impact that it's made on his life as a recent graduate and moving forward.
Before my senior year of high school, I wasn't really involved in many extracurriculars. I didn't really have a direction or path I necessarily wanted to go down in my life. When I got to my senior year, it finally came to me that, maybe I could get involved, and I got recruited actually by Kyle Stanger to come join the DECA and FBLA, just give it a shot. And now I'm a professional sales ambassador up at Weber State, and I know exactly the direction I want to go into. With these CTSOs, they give you so many experiences, connections, resources that you just really wouldn't get anywhere else. And I could not speak more highly of the advisors that I had and the connections that I made, not only with networking, things like that, but I made a lot of really good friendships too. So I could not speak more and stress the importance of these CTSOs.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And then I'd like to finish it up here with John Donnelly.
Thanks, Trevor. I want to first say how much I love working with these students and these CTSOs. It's so great to watch the students grow and develop and the skills that they're earning or developing and get ready for a career. I have the pleasure tonight to introduce Hayden Nelson, who has been on our TSA/Specs Robotics competition team for the last 4 years. He's qualified for the state tournament for 3 of those years, and he qualified for the World Championships a few years ago also. So we'll introduce Hayden, and he can talk about his experiences.
Thank you for having me. As John mentioned, this is my 4th year. I've been participating in Bex IQ competition. 3 of those times I've qualified for state and once qualified for worlds. Throughout this time, I've developed many hard and soft skills, all of them applicable in any career, especially engineering careers. Several times I have, I have learned to solve problems easier and more efficiently, and such as building a robot with very little time, making changes sometimes minutes before a competition. And it's helped me become better at meeting deadlines and working with team members and communicating. Being able to work with a team is vital to any sort of major success. And the other skills I've mentioned have made me successful in school and personal endeavors. TSA has helped me develop all of these skills in one way or another, and I have seen these effects on my teammates as well, how it's improved their lives. I hope to be able to work with VEX and TSA in high school and have lots of fun with that. Thank you.
Well, we want to thank everyone for their participation in this tonight. I want to thank the board for the opportunity to really celebrate some of our CTE and CTSO programs. And just really, when you listen to these stories, there are unbelievable stories of connection. As they go throughout their lives, they'll look back and sort of see a progression, these bridges, these people who inspired them. And I think this is also a reflection of some of our newer programs. We have esports, which is another opportunity for students in our computer science program to demonstrate their proficiency there, and also our ProStart, some of our culinary work, students learning how to cook and things like that. So there are so many great stories like these. We really appreciate our coordinators and the students for being here with us tonight. And thank you for taking the time to be with us. The last thing I wanted to mention is just, we had a really neat service activity that some of our shop teachers were involved with. It was in the newspaper not long ago. That's not the only service opportunity for our students, but that's one example of our students who use their skills to build desks for some of our remote learners that needed desks, and we have taken those around to some of our students throughout the district. So there are all kinds of experiences and opportunities for our students to be involved with through CTSOs and through CTE programs. So thanks, everyone. Do you have any questions, board, or anything that we can answer for you tonight?
Robert Peterson does.
I just want to comment, in the CTE add-on formula, there's a small portion that we get monies for having CTSOs, and it's not huge in the big scheme of things, but it has grown significantly, and in turn then CTE ADM will also follow. The funding will follow. But the most important thing, and I just feel impressed to say this, is the engagement kids have, because kids need to feel engaged. And I want to comment because Trevor Ward is on the screen. My son Oscar hated school every day for 3 years. He'd come home from Weber High or North Junior. We'd say, "How'd it go, Oscar?" And he'd go, "School sucks. I hate school." He said pretty much the same thing every day. And then his last semester of his senior year, he had Trevor Ward, and he was in the DECA program. This is just a semester at the end of his senior year, and he loved it. And he goes, "Man, I wish I was more involved earlier with this." That's what he said. And then now he's off his mission. He's attending Weber State, and I can't help but think that Trevor Ward's class had something to do with his progress. And just a personal testimonial from me for CTSOs.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you very much. Dr. Peterson, or Dr. Belknap, I want to thank you and your team and all the kids tonight and those 300 that are actively involved. It's big, big, big. I remember when I was a student at Roy High, they were building homes, and then they went away. And so to see that come back in an industry when growth is so big, to be able to have these kids and their life skills take off. And as Dr. Peterson mentioned, to be able to grasp a kid that late, job well done. It's the Weaver way. It's great to have administrators as team that you surrounded yourself with to boost these kids and the kids to grasp onto it. I just want to say thanks. And board, let's give them a round of applause just for what they've done. Thank you very much, and best of luck in the future. And thanks, Robert, for that little stipend that you help them with.
Thank you.
Board, on our next item will be an action discussion item. It would be establishing a board meeting for the dates of February 2021 through January of 2022. Dr. Peterson, please.
Very good. Thanks, President. It's time to set our board calendar for the year, and this is a legal requirement as well as a good service so that people know when we meet. And so presented in your packet is the calendar. We meet on the first Wednesday of every month at 6, with the exception of April because of spring break, July, and then also no board meeting in July. Also in June, we have the second Wednesday in June because of the budget hearing that we need a little extra time to prepare for. That budget's due by June 21st, and that gives us a little wiggle room. Anyway, so that's the calendar to present, and it goes through clear till January of 22, the first Wednesday in January 22. So that's, let me make sure I got everything right. I did. Okay, that's it, President.
Thank you, Dr. Peterson. Board, you've heard the proposal on establishing board meetings for the 2021 all the way through January of 2022. I entertain a motion to accept.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by
I'll
Paul,
second that.
second by Bruce. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very well. Thank you, board. Motion carries. Robert.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, board, is the approval of administration appointments at Roy High School. Dr. Peters, or Dr. Stevens, please.
Thank you, President. Board members, as you know, last month we selected Jamie Ellis to serve as our equity director. We look forward to her leadership in that role. Jamie has been serving as an assistant principal at Roy High School. So with Jamie's appointment as equity director, it requires a little bit of organizational restructure at Roy High School. We'd like to propose that Brenda Hart be advanced from an administrative intern, and she's currently serving at Roy High School, and she be made an assistant principal. Let me just give you, well, let's do both appointments, and then I'll maybe, President, with your permission, we can circle back and introduce them and let them just say something to the board. That leaves an opening for administrative intern at Roy High School, and would like to recommend Brooke Young, who's currently a CTE teacher at North Ogden Junior High School, as the new administrative intern at Roy High School.
Board, I'd entertain a motion to accept the proposal that Dr. Stevens just gave us.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Jan, second by Doug. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Thank you. Dr. Stevens, please give us a little.
Great. Let's let the board get to know these two fine educators even a little better. Let's start with Brenda. Brenda has a bachelor's degree from Weber State University, where she had an English teaching major and a PE teaching coaching minor. She also has her master's degree and her administrative supervisory endorsement from the University of Phoenix. Brenda has spent 14 years in education. She taught English at Bonneville High School for 12 years, and she was the softball coach at Bonneville High School for 14 years, and just did a tremendous job there. Brenda has come to Roy High School and just done tremendous work. Brenda Brenda, you have endeared yourself not only to the Roy High faculty and student body, but to the Roy High community. Welcome to this new role. We congratulate you. Would you just take a minute, Brenda, and share any thought you'd like with the board?
Yes, thank you. First, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Stevens, and the Board of Education for this opportunity, along with Gina and Clyde. I've had some great mentors along the way, and I'm very excited to step into this role, and I'm happy it can be done at Roy High. It's great to be a Royal. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Board, let's get to know Brooke a little bit better. Brooke has her Bachelor of Science degree in Business and Marketing from Weber State. So Brooke, a real good night to be celebrating CTE just before this appointment. Brooke also has her master's degree in Educational Leadership along with her administrative endorsement from Western Governors University. Brooke has been in education for 17 years, 12 of those in Weber District, 5 in Davis District, and her last 3 years have been at North Ogden Junior High, where she has been loved and very successful at North Ogden Junior High. Brooke, welcome and congratulations. Go ahead, take a minute, Brooke. Help us get a better acquainted with you, will you please? Okay, Brooke, just. Yeah, she's unmuted, but.
Thank you. Hello. What an honor to be a part of this. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to be here. What a great evening to be a part of this opportunity with CTE presenting and Dr. Belknap and his team. I'd like to thank, of course, the Board of Education, first and foremost, along with you, Dr. Stevens, and choosing me to represent Weber School District as an administrative intern. It's such an honor. The trust and the responsibility that you placed in me, I do not take lightly, and I will represent you with the utmost care and dedication. I'd also like to thank Gina and Clyde for their confidence in me. In addition, a special thanks to my current administration, Wendy Long and Dawn Morse. Their guidance and support has been instrumental in my professional goals and development, and I'll be forever grateful, as well as my mother, who has been in our district for 35 years, Marty Ross Kelly. I'm excited to work with the new team at Roy High and be a part of their leadership, Matt Williams, Rob Lake, and Brenda Hart, and it was nice to have such a warm welcome from them this week. Thank you so much for everyone and all of your time.
Thanks, Brooke. Congratulations. Thanks, President.
Go Royals.
Congratulations, Mr. Williams, on the new teams. And it's great to be a Royal, huh, ladies and gentlemen? Go Royals. That's awesome to be able to have people within our district, Dr. Stevens, that we can promote and move into slots and keep moving without even a little hitch in more ways than one. Board, the next item on the agenda would be the approval of a revised policy 7300, employee alcohol and drug abuse, on a second reading. Mr. Larry Hadley, please.
Good evening, Board, Superintendency, and Dr. Stevens. First, I'd like to congratulate Brooke and Brenda. Congratulations to both of you. That's fantastic, and we look forward to working with you. Board, as you know, we've been working on Policy 7300, the Employee Alcohol and Abuse Policy. From our last reading with some collaboration, we've added a few minor changes to definitions. I'd just like to briefly touch on those. In Section 3, Item D, we actually added a definition for reasonable suspicion, and we listed some possible examples of reasonable suspicion. So I wanted to touch on that. As we move down on 6E, we actually took out the word prescription, and so we've removed that. On 7A, we added an administrative documentation form on reasonable suspicion, so we can document from the administration who we sent down and for what reason. We also decided in random testing just to make the safety sensitive position a little more understandable. So we included what is called, we struck safety sensitive and put employees required to have a commercial driver's license to fulfill their job duties. We feel these minor changes make it a little more legible and the definitions a little more clear for everyone in the policy. We appreciate all those that helped collaborate on those minor changes. So with those changes, we would ask the board for their approval on this, I do believe, the third reading. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. The board, I'd entertain a motion to accept approval of revised policy 7300, employee alcohol and drug abuse on a second reading.
So moved.
So moved by Jan. Second by Paul. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, board.
And the next item on the agenda would be the approval of revised policy 4330, release of students during school hours on a second reading. Ms. Carla Porter, please.
Yes, thank you, Superintendent Stevens Board. Last month, I presented the revisions to policy 4330, which is our policy on releasing students during school hours. And since last month, we have not had any input, questions, or concerns. So I asked the board approve policy 4330 on a second reading.
Thank you, Carla. That was a little delayed, board. I'd entertain a motion to approve of revised policy 4330, release of students during school hours on a second reading.
So moved.
So moved by Bruce.
Second.
Second by Jan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, board. Thank you, Carla. We've come to the end of our agenda. However, we have an other, and I'd like to give Dr. Peterson just a moment.
Yeah, I talked to, John at the break. We have our annual USBA conference this week and well, Thursday, Friday, and Thursday evening is at 6, is it, Superintendent? Virtual, and Jeff, our superintendent, has sent you all the link to log in, and if you're a BYU fan, it'd be good. If you're not a BYU fan, Coach Talk, he's the keynote speaker. And then Friday morning, they have 3 sessions, I think they're 45 minutes long each. They're virtual, and so it'd be good support. And they're still having the prize giveaways, so I guess you have to be present to win or online, I don't know. But I always fold my little ticket, so I can get drawn, and the chances of me getting drawn are less this year because I can't fold
Do
my
you
ticket.
usually win?
I win actually quite a bit. Yeah. Anyway, that's the other, just a reminder of the USBA. Yeah.
Dr. Pearson, thank you very much.
Thank
It'll
you.
be a little different, but I do encourage us to watch some of that as well and do the best we can. It'll be interesting. Who knows what's going to happen in the future. Board, it's been a great meeting. Thank you to all those who have helped. Pam for the great dinner, Trent for doing your great work behind the scenes, and everybody involved. To those that are virtual, thank you for participating and taking time out of your night. Dr. Stevens for his great leadership, and I'd entertain a motion, board, to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Jan. Second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Good night. Be safe and have a great month.